Oh, I forgot to do the damn friends and enemies. Welcome back. Sorry, Dee's laughs. I'm sitting away from my computer here. Little technical issue on this all-time high day. I'm rearranging stuff in my office here, trying to find some more space. Len can hear his own voice on a split-second delay echo, but we're here.
Yeah, I went crazy.
It's gonna suck, but you know what? It's all-time high, so I feel good. Do you feel good? How are you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, I hear voices in my head. Other than that, I'm fucking fantastic, buddy. What a beautiful day it is. You know, we had a pump in the price of Bitcoin. It's nice and warm outside. You know what was interesting too, Joey? I listened to CBC radio because I just fucking hate myself. I want to hear what's going on out there. And they were talking about how in Toronto, the city itself was the second most polluted city on Earth by air quality. Second most. You know, we have cities like Islamabad. I think that was number one. 14 million people live in Islamabad, I believe. You know, Beijing, I don't know, 10, 15 million people live there. New York, 15. Like all these big cities that have so many people in it. But yet Toronto was number two. I don't know what metric they used, but they scared the heck of a lot of people based on the fact that this is saying, yeah, it's very, very bad out there. Whatever.
What can be said about the CBC?
See, Len is echoing bad.
I do not hear an echo on my side. I hear nothing.
I don't know what to do.
Len dropped into the metaverse. We tried to solve this for like 10 minutes before the show and we couldn't figure it out.
So do you want to restart it and figure this out because it's probably unplayable? Oh, you could do this yourself.
Okay, I'll wing it for a few minutes. You try and figure it out, and then
I don't know
see
how
what happens.
I
don't know. I mean, Google might be able to help. I'm not sure. Honestly, I have no idea.
Have you changed anything on your side?
No, I can't change your settings. I can only change whether or not your mic is loud or quiet. That's it.
Yeah, because I don't know what else to change. There's been I don't know. It is what it is.
I don't even hear it. I can't hear it. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the stream on my phone. Hold on. This is Business on Air, and we'll see how it sounds on my phone. Give me a second here, Len.
Is there anything on your settings that you've changed? Because now you're in a different setting, different environment, different something. Maybe that's causing it.
I can't change anything on your end though. Like I
don't know if it's my side. I mean, the only thing that's changed between last episode and this one is you're now in a different spot.
Yeah.
I haven't changed anything. It's the exact same thing.
I know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can't change. What I think it is for some reason that mic is catching your voice going in, and then it's also catching your voice through StreamYard. So it's doing it twice, once a little after the first time. And that's why there's a tiny delay between the two.
I changed the mic. I could even go to like a headset, like a wired headset with a mic in it. I could even go to like a very basic setup.
We could try. You want to try?
Let me get it.
Full caveman setup here. We'll do the sponsors and we'll do some housekeeping. EasyDNS, lead sponsor, banner sponsor. You guys know the deal. Mark is your friendly neighborhood registrar. He helps you get all your website needs taken care of. You want to buy a domain, portal domain, whatever. Mark's got your back. Lots of stuff over there for Bitcoin enthusiasts, virtual private server stuff. Lets you do NASA relays, Bitcoin nodes, BTC pay server implementations. You name it, he's got it. And there's probably other stuff that he can help you with that I'm not particularly keen on. So if there's something that I'm not mentioning, I'm sure he can still make it work for you. On top of that, a couple extra bucks, domain sure, easy mail, protect your data, protect your clients' data, your newsletter subscribers' data, everyone's data. Because everyone's out gunning for data now. It's the new oil, as the saying goes. So we got that to think about. And of course, Mark was doing Bitcoin Treasury before it was cool. He takes Bitcoin for his services so you can pay in corn if you like. And your registration will get cheaper and cheaper if you pay in corn. I'll tell you that. CBP Media is the code. Go there. 50% off your first round of buys. Second sponsor is Bull Bitcoin. I mean, what can you really say? What's corn right now? 120,000. I can't really make up my block clock from this far away, but it is high in any case, and we are approaching new all-time highs. It seems like all the time. I think this morning when I woke up, it was 122. So where am I going with this? Well, it's a good time to be stacking. I don't know why you wouldn't be stacking right now. We haven't had a Trump-era rate cut. There's a war overseas, and inflation is ticking up again. never a better time to be a stacker than right now. So if you haven't started your stack yet, go to Bull Bitcoin. You can use bills over there if you want to add a little bit more functionality to your Bitcoin. Pay your bills, man. Mortgage, cell phone, whatever. All doable over there. No problem. All you have to do is get on the platform and decide where you want to send your Bitcoin to pay that bill. Use our code, CBP. I think there's a link in the description, and it'll take you to their brand new app to sign up. 25% off your fees for life. I got to give a quick shout out here to our boy Rob. Sent over a number of fitness/health products from his wife's company, True Me Whole Health. I don't often, I'll be honest, I certainly don't pimp products that we receive on this show. A lot of people send us stuff all the time. I don't often pimp them. I just say, yeah, thanks for sending it. I'll use it, and if I like it, I'll tell you. I'll give you some criticism if not. These are like BCAA plus electrolytes, drinks, little sodas. They're all natural ingredients. There's like nothing in here I can't pronounce, which is great. And it tastes amazing. This is like really good stuff. So I've been drinking these last few days. I really like it. I'm going to try the BCAA powder next. And I think you guys should give these guys a look. I'm not paid to say this. So I just want to let people know when someone who's a friend of the show sends us something that we really like, it's good to tell people that we're into it. Little housekeeping. Well, then sorts things out on his end. Looks like
I'm trying my best. Could you, I can hear an echo.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to do. We might have to delay this for an hour or something. I don't know.
Is there another computer?
No.
Phone?
I could try.
I mean, I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, let me try another computer.
It says, Joey, do you have effect options on your end? No, I don't have anything. I don't know. I'm using just it's the same setup as I usually use. I just change chairs and change mics. Like it's just, otherwise it's the same.
Okay, let me just try another computer. I do have another one I can try, but I gotta move around shit. It's gonna take 10 minutes or so.
Sure. I got lots to talk about. No problem. Happy to do it. Yeah, no problem.
I'll be back.
Okay, we're working on things over here at CBP. So we got a couple housekeeping items. Last week I talked to Stockwell Day, which you guys like. I really got to give another shout out to Rob who helped set that up. We really appreciate that, Rob. Talk about a well-read guest. Having a guy like that on the other end of the show for an interview is incredible. He spent more time with me than he had to, for sure. We had a little bit of a scheduling mishap. We got our wires crossed, and he's a busy guy, obviously. Like, I'm running a podcast. He's trying to get energy projects funded in Alberta. One of us is not like the other, clearly. And I was happy that he was able to make time. We had a great conversation about a ton of stuff. The Conservative Party, sort of current state of affairs, and Poilievre's election loss. He had some great stories about Mark Carney. Mark Carney thinks he looks like James Bond. I didn't know that, but that is pretty funny. Does he look like Daniel Craig? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. He might be a little smaller in stature. Short Kings Unite, I guess, but I don't know if that's James Bond worthy. And then obviously we had some discussion about energy, the modern right, and talked a lot about CBC and Marxist cultural sort of inclinations, let's say, in the modern press and in modern society. Everything from education to media to, it was really good. And like I said, he's a busy guy, and he certainly doesn't have to give me that much time, but he did, and for that I am very grateful. And at the end of the show, he told me that he was happy he came on, and it was a good interview, and he would like to come back if we'd have him, which is great. I said this on the show before, and I told him this as well. We say no to a lot of guests here. We have said no to people from CBC. We've said no to people from the political realm, and that seems to me to be the best default answer. Mostly because I think that, like I said, to Stockwell, the modern politician is so well trained and so media savvy that it's easy to not give me the truth when we speak. And I don't like that. You guys don't like that for sure. And it's not worth anyone's time. So anytime I can get a politician that I know a bit about, and I think I'm confident will have the media savvy plus give me honest answers, it's a big win for me. And so I was happy to to be able to make that a reality, which was great. Some interviews we have coming up this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to be talking to the guys from Learning Bitcoin, including Pablo, who's in the chat. Pablo, I see your name, though I can't read your comment. My eyes are not that good anymore, buddy. I have some stuff I might have to do Wednesday night, so it might be moved to Thursday. Very excited for that. I got a message this morning from Joe Barbudo, Economic Long Wave. He saw somewhere a rant that I did directed at boomers and said, he needs to come back on because he's got a lot of boomer stuff he wants to share. And he didn't share it last time. And I said, I got a gap next week if you want to come on. I always got time for you. So he will be joining us from, I don't know, Boca Raton or wherever he is. He's somewhere where you can have 3 buttons undone at the top of your shirt year round, I think. So looking forward to seeing what he has to say and how much better his tan is than mine. And then the week after that, Heather Exner-Pirot is coming on. You may have heard her most recently on the Looney Hour podcast. She talked a lot about energy and Ottawa's, war might be the right word, their war against energy policy in Canada. Interesting stuff specifically pertaining to publications and what an academic institution or an academic think tank can say about energy and energy policy. Interesting stuff. You guys may not know this, but even the Parliamentary Budget Office is worried about what they say and don't say in terms of what they expect on the energy side in terms of pollution, costs, and whatnot, because it's all rolled into one of these bills. I forget which one, C9, maybe C3, I forget. But basically, there's a significant risk of litigation from the federal government, which I didn't know. And I encourage you guys to go back and listen to that episode. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the data center, Bitcoin mining ask that's going to be coming down the pipe here and other places as well. And I'm looking forward to that interview quite a bit. And then in August, Caribou, you guys may know, Nick is going to come on and we are going to talk, I think, about a Canadian hash force. So interesting stuff going on, obviously, with mining and surplus energy. And obviously the Bitcoin price is driving a lot of interest from some people you'd expect, others you may not. And so Nick has been giving a lot of thought to this. And we planned to do this in the spring, but we both got busy and decided to just wait until now. And so we're going to do this in a few weeks. Last piece of housekeeping. Hopefully Len comes back. I don't know. I'm looking at my phone here. It's not lighting up. I may once again be emceeing the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. So I'm excited about that. Talked to the conference organizers today, Dan Carlin, who's a friend of the show. And, I think a friend of mine as well. Once we were done talking about our kids and just how hard and fun and great it is to be a father, we got down to brass tacks and started talking about that too. So I'm looking forward to doing that again in Montreal. That is in October, I think. October 10th, 11th, something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. And I hope to see all of you guys there. Now, obviously, Len is not back, so I'm just going to keep talking. Bitcoin all-time high, again, overnight. It feels like we just did this last week. We were closing in on this 120 for a long time. I think it's a measured move. There he is.
Is it better? I can still hear.
How is this possible?
Totally different.
Hold on. We have to sort this out.
It's a totally different computer. Different webcam, different everything. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going through some settings here, settings up to get things right. The echo that you're hearing, it's brutal.
Can you still hear it?
It's gone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Yeah.
It's gone.
Okay. I think I see the problem here.
Let me revert back to my other computer because this one is a piece of crap, as you can tell.
So there's actually one setting on your end that I can change, and it's echo cancellation. Go figure. I didn't even notice that. I thought I could
I tried the echo cancellation.
It's on now. It's on now, and you say the echo's gone?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we're cooking. No problem. Okay, take 5 minutes, get the other shit back. I don't mind talking.
I tried the echo cancellation on the other one, on and off. It didn't change anything. Do
you want to stay like this?
Well, let's go. Can anybody hear me? Does it sound good or not? If it sounds
good, the chat is hilarious. They're just laughing at this.
Is it good? If it's good, I'm gonna run with this. I don't give a shit. This computer is a piece of trash, and I'll just fucking deal with it. I got my Notes here, ready to rock and roll.
Okay, let's rip
Like,
it.
it's just like a patch.
Who knows, man? StreamYard. This happened with Heather too. Heather,
Is it good enough, or like
I think
hear...
you sound fine. I think you sound fine. You sound like you're talking into a laptop mic. It's clear enough for me to hear you. It's no problem for me. I don't care. What does everyone else think? Everyone else seems to think it's okay too. So
okay, it's fucking rock, man. Like,
let's
okay,
go.
where are we at
Okay.
right now?
We're on the first story. I just finished housekeeping. First story. Let's get into it.
Wait, don't we have sats? We have to do boosts?
Yeah, we got to do the boost, right? I almost forgot about the boost.
First story.
But everything else is done. I took care of everything else.
Okay. Your sound quality went down apparently, so anyway.
Come on.
Something's got. Let's do what we have right here. So Sunny Pines Homestead, 1,000 sats. He says, "You guys rock. Keep crushing it. Cheers to an all-time high."
Yeah, wait till he hears this episode. He may change his mind about all that stuff. So, but yeah, cheers to an all-time high, definitely.
Okay, I'm curious to hear it. So next up we have Doug, 1021 sats, and this is with respect to your interview with Stockwell Day. Great name and great guest. Absolutely love the parallel he made between the cultural communism of being canceled compared to actual communism, where dissenters were brought into town centers to be shot. Also, if no tax is off the cards, I may be a tax maxi. Progressive taxes were even in the Communist Manifesto. I didn't know that progressive taxes was part of the Communist Manifesto.
He kind of mentioned it. Yeah, the flat tax is a crazy thing. Like I when I heard about that, I had to go take a look for myself. And you know what the worst thing about that is? They were able to put it in and seemed to have some success with it at the provincial level, and then went backwards on it. They ended up with an NDP government there and went backwards. It's just unbelievable. They undo every good thing that they can. And Alberta still, I think, is a little more orange than anyone is willing to admit, even though Danielle Smith is the premier. But
I got to put some light on this. I look like, you know what I mean? I know I'm tanned, but I'm not that tanned. You know what I mean? This is whatever. Business Cat writes in 10,000 sats. Donald Trump can't drain a fish tank, and he laughs. Puts a laughing emoji.
That was a good line by you. Yeah, that was a really good line from you.
Jer, 21,000 sats. These are pretty big ones. And it's the last one too, by the way. Quote unquote worked up. Len is the best version of Len. That growl and laugh at 11:59 of the second half was priceless. Never change. Appreciate you both. And he gives a salute.
God bless. Thanks for the sats, man. Yeah, the show doesn't run without you guys. So there's not a lot of podcasts, I don't think, that can run, technical technical problems the first 15 minutes and still go. Got some support from the chat on the sound. Great. So everything is just Gucci. I mean, I guess, Len, you're going to start at all-time highs when it comes to the stories. It seems like that's the most logical place to plant our flag first.
Well, that's the biggest news item of the day. But no, I want to talk about ETFs. Nah, fuck you. We talk about the fucking price. But what else can I say aside from we hit a new all-time high, right? And for people out there that have recently come into Bitcoin, they're probably very happy, but maybe also thinking, should I sell? Is it a good time to get rid of it? No. It's keep buying. But what goes up, man, Bitcoin, it will come down pretty hard too. It will never go to zero, but you may see a drawdown, 10, 15, 20K. It happens, right? Even more. You just got to be diamond-handed about this whole thing. Just be ready. Right? We can't predict what's going to happen, but it's going to be volatile, going up and going down as well. Who knows? It's a lot of fun to watch. I just see this, and you know what? The more the price goes up, in a way, the more angry I get, because it just proves we were fucking right. And still, with all this, I was thinking the other day, what's the percentage of people that actually have Bitcoin or Bitcoin exposure? Like, it's got to be a small number in the grand scheme of things. Not just overall population. I'm talking about people just with money, like investors and shit like that. Like, it's still very, very early stages of the game. And with no CEO, with no PR campaign, no nothing, it got to 122. That's incredible. Why is that? Because the technicals, they make people want to buy it. That's really why. There's nothing else like this out there.
When you say technicals, you mean like the fundamentals of the asset?
Yeah, the fact that there's only 21 million and it can't be confiscated from you, and it can't be copied. The coins can't be copied. There's like so many good things about it. That's why people want to buy it and want to hold on to it. Because let's be honest, there's really nothing else like this out there. Gold could have been it, but we've talked about gold in the past. The difficulty of managing it, and so Bitcoin takes that away from you, and you can send it across space very easily. Gold you can't. So you're looking at this, it makes sense. It's the money of the internet. And then you throw in Lightning on top of that, where you could easily transact, send micro payments around. I love the Zaps feature for Nostr, for instance. You write a good post. You write something that's meaningful, that there is something behind the message you're putting out there, and people reward you. People reward you with micro payments of Bitcoin. You get 10 sats, 100 sats, 1,000 sats, whatever the fuck it may be. But people reward you in that. That's the beauty of it. That's something I look at, and I'm going into the weeds here, but I look at Nostr as a better alternative than X. It's very, very premature, granted, but still, and how it utilizes Bitcoin, where X could have done that, but they haven't. Sailor came up with some good points with ways of getting rid of bots, for instance, where you'd have to have some sort of payment for every message, and you have to be really small, but still that would be a way of getting rid of bots. But for whatever reason, X never decided to adopt this model. They should have. But Bitcoin for the win.
I think this is this all-time high is so great. Okay, so I said to a couple of buddies, like, if you look at the metrics that you'd normally pay attention to see how popular this is at the moment among plebs, among retail, among whatever, you look at a couple things. Google Trends, we talk about all the time. Coinbase is still like ranked 140 in the App Store. It's way down the list. Okay, it's made a little bit of a gain from the like high hundreds to the mid hundreds over the last week or two, but it's still way down the list. ETF funding, pretty steady. It's not seeing a huge spike. And best of all, like we talk about this every week, okay? And you and me laugh about this privately too. No rate cut since Trump came in. War overseas, recession looming. Jobs numbers are bad everywhere. Everything is part-time, gig work, temporary jobs, government and healthcare and education, all publicly funded. Private sector is struggling. And what do we see? The price is just keeps ripping. I don't know what the no coiner has to see before they realize, oh fuck, I got to get some of this stuff. Like what are they waiting for? At this point, what are they waiting for? It's my view, it continues to be my view, that at this point it is only ego stopping an average person from getting in. I don't buy this like I don't have enough money, blah blah blah. Everyone's got $1 a week, $1 a month, whatever to buy this stuff. At this point, it's either you don't know anything about it, which is getting harder and harder to believe, or you just keep saying it's going to blow up. I don't know if you ever go on the Buttcoin subreddit, but the Buttcoin subreddit has people saying, how much longer do we have to wait for this to blow up? Because people are getting rich, and I'm waiting to say I told you so, and it ain't coming. Even there, the client, the client base of the anti-Bitcoin, crowd is basically saying, look, I'm running out of gas here. Like, I am exhausted of telling people this is going to blow up and it's a Ponzi. The price just keeps growing. Adoption just keeps growing. ETFs just keep buying. Institutions just keep buying. What do you make of this? Like, how does an average person look at this and go, I don't want any? Now, here's the best part. What are the odds, Len, that, like, again, we talked about this before, but it bears repeating. Retirement funds looking at this stuff, pensions, average investors going from 0% to 5%, people who are 5% gold going from 5% gold to 2.5 BTC, 2.5 gold, real estate looking to get into Bitcoin. This is all going to happen because at some point, it's not about how much you like the asset or understand the asset or whatever. What it's actually about is, how come I'm not keeping up? How come my portfolio is not keeping up? And once that starts to happen, you're going to see like real price acceleration. I think this cycle is just getting started. Two more things I want to mention. One, the Bitcoin gold ratio. We're still not all-time highs against gold, right? That's the big one. Here's an even bigger one. everyone in the no coiner camp, and even some Bitcoiners or Bitcoin adjacent people who agree with the method, who agree with the mentality and the value prop of the asset, but don't have any, let's say. And even people in our space land that are like as deep in this as you and I say that this thing is correlated to the Mag 7. We are about to break out against the Mag 7 for the first time in a long time. And once you drop those correlations with gold, with high beta tech, what's left? Everyone is looking at these things and going, if this is not the correlation, then what is? The answer is the correlation is how fast people are realizing fiat is dying. It's not about the stock market. It's not about interest rates. It's not about liquidity. Because right now, all those things are working against us. And here we are at all-time highs. This is blue skies, man. This is a good day to be a Bitcoiner. And don't forget to tell people that you were anything but lucky, okay? No luck involved here. Everyone told you it was a scam. You guys got it right.
Now, don't forget, what goes up could go down, and it could go down pretty damn hard.
Boo, boo.
It is true, because you have to set the table for people, their expectations for what's going to happen. And even though you're at the all-time high and there's all this euphoria and all this positivity, who knows what's going to come around the corner? I hope it continually goes up, but in a way, I hope it goes down too, because my 2025 stacking goal is not going to be met at this pace. So, selfishly, I prefer the price to go down so I can meet that stacking goal. But whatever I will doesn't change anything. It goes where it wants. My thoughts, just like the weather, I can't change it. It happens. No matter what tax I pay, or no matter which way I think, it goes where it wants. Just like the price of Bitcoin. And I know where it goes, it is going to go. And I'm happy about that. It's good to see. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of money coming into it. The one thing I want to see, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen, or even if it ever will happen, is when there is nothing left to buy. Is when somebody goes out and I want to buy, quarter Bitcoin, half Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, and it's not there because it's all been gobbled up and nobody wants to sell. That's going to be an amazing place to be. That's a potential for parabolic price increase.
That's what I like to hear. Parabolic price increase.
Well, the potential exists.
Yeah.
And now you have, and then we can even transition into a subject that is adjacent to it with these treasury companies, because a lot of them, it seems like every day there's another company that makes the announcement that they're coming in. How much more capital will come into a new company? You know what I mean? Like if somebody else comes out and says, yeah, we're going to go and invest in Bitcoin treasury strategy, is that really going to move the needle for that company in terms of their valuation? Because there's only so much capital out there that's going to move. Why would you not want to buy into, if you're looking to buy into something like that, like a MicroStrategy, for instance? Why would you want to buy the new kid on the block when you have something that's been there for a little bit while? And with respect to MicroStrategy, it sucks that they don't hold their own keys and so forth, but they did one thing that you have to respect them for, is they weathered the storm where the price of Bitcoin went down to 15K and they didn't sell any Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I would imagine if the same thing happens again with terms of price, I don't think it will. I would think that they'll probably weather the storm again. I can't say the same about any other company that came along and just started buying Bitcoin. Because they're just, they're just riding the wave. Are they true Bitcoiners? Who the fuck knows?
You don't think Ryan Cohen and GameStop are true Bitcoiners? You don't think they're in it for the freedom technology?
I don't know enough about him.
The answer is obviously no.
It probably is, but yet I don't want to say with ignorance.
Yeah,
so that's why I can't say for certain. He's the guy from Chewy. I know he's from Chewy, and I know that they have like $5 billion in cash, and they only bought like something like $500 million in Bitcoin at a time where it was like 90,000. They would fuck them, fuck them. But it's their prerogative. They have every opportunity to buy or not buy, just like everybody else. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, same. On I started a new show Around the Corn with a couple of people, who are friends of this show. Something that we're going to do on Friday nights, I think, like 20 minutes at a time. This came up, obviously, Bitcoin treasury companies. I don't love them, and actually, I agree with you, Len, that the likelihood that any of these Johnny come latelys survive a significant drawdown, I think, is pretty low. Even if they survive, in terms of like the company itself, the likelihood that a board survives this, an unpopular, dicey, high risk, what will be described as high risk treasury strategy during a drawdown, I think is unlikely. And you're going to get a lot of turnover, and that sets back this whole Bitcoin investment thesis at the corporate level, I think, right? So that's one problem. The other problem, I think, too, or not a problem, I should say, but the other element to this is, like when you think about who's buying the equities for these companies, I think it's a lot of what I would call stranded capital. So for example, if I have money in my TFSA and I want to put it into Bitcoin, but I don't like IBIT or the ETFs, well, what options do I have? Now I have a few things to look at, right? I can move money from IBIT or from whatever index fund I'm in and put it in Semler or, Metaplanet or whatever else. But are people who are buying those equities, like Bitcoiners who are buying those equities, are they loading up their TFSA to buy these things? Or are they just putting money that they already had in the TFSA, the 401k, the whatever tax managed account into the treasury companies, and still their new capital is going into spot? I think that's a risk that the treasury companies are exposed to. And I don't know exactly how that plays out, but the more you see the price run up and at the same time the funding levels for the ETFs stay the same, I think it kind of tells you that that's the story, that no new capital is necessarily coming into these ETFs. What's coming in is people going, okay, I finally see the price. I'll move a little bit of my existing investment portfolio into that. But I think that new money is going into spot, honestly. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But right now, the funding story on the ETF side, that's how it looks to me.
Germany sold a bunch of their Bitcoin, remember, like the 50K range, give or take.
Yeah.
And they look like fools for doing that. Mm-hmm. That was Bitcoin that they confiscated.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it's not like they earned it through hard work.
This is the equivalent of the guy pawning the gold chain that he stole at a gym or something and just watching gold rip. Like, it's just a disaster for the country. But everything they do is stupid over there last 5 years.
I just want to bring that up because I want to talk about Bhutan. But I want to talk about Bhutan in a different light, because Bhutan, we got news this week that they have been, not only mining Bitcoin for a number of years, but it looks like they've been also starting to sell some of their Bitcoin. And this week, some 212 Bitcoin, the time was valued 23 million. I'm not sure what it's valued now, was sent to a Binance address. They moved it from a Bhutan-controlled address to a Binance address. And I guess with the intention to sell, right? Like, why else would you move to Binance? To buy NFTs or to lever up? These guys are selling, right?
Lever up. So they're moving the slider to 100x.
Let's do it. What happens. So, with respect to this, it's not a bad thing. And this is my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. You could rim me a new one. But these guys, they're a country, they got bills to pay. And they didn't confiscate this Bitcoin. They earned it. Mm-hmm. They used the electricity which they generated, excess electricity, and they used this to mine Bitcoin and power up their energized ASICs, and they got a good supply of Bitcoin. And good for them for now starting to sell it, because, I'm happy to see them use it in this way. You're not going to sit on it forever. It doesn't make sense. But they used electricity. They just parlayed that, monetized it. Now they're able to sell it off. And it's not the first time they've done this. So 212 this week. Last week, they moved around 137 Bitcoin. At the time, was worth around $14 million to a Binance address. It looks like they're starting to slowly sell their Bitcoin. They still have a lot left, though. I said 212, 137. At the beginning of this year, they were sitting at over 10,000 Bitcoin. Ugh. So I have no idea how much else they've mined in the last 6+ months. Mm-hmm. But I assume, if I'm looking at this, they probably just sold off probably what they mined in the last 3 months, if that. So they still have a good amount of Bitcoin in their balance sheet. What are they going to do with it? Looks like eventually they're going to sell it, and good for them. They got fucking bills to pay. So I like to see the story. This makes sense, and I think this is a copy pasta template for other nations out there that have excess electricity. Not sure how many have it, but if you do, here you go. Fuck, if Bhutan could do it, you could do it.
It's funny that we talk about this as a good strategy. Clearly, this is what countries who hold Bitcoin, mine Bitcoin, whatever, will do. They will use it to pay down debts or cover expenses. The lesson here is that even nation states become sellers when they mine. And this is, I think, a nice sort of adjacent, warning story about Bitcoin mining companies. And it's, I think, a big reason why Bitcoin mining equities have not ripped in the same way they have before, save for a few, meme-ish ones. But to me, it's a warning that if you mine, you will eventually need to sell to cover expenses, to cover bills, nation state or otherwise. And I'm happy to see this too. It's not, like you said, it's not a big dent in their total holdings, assuming they haven't sold any other kind of coin on the side, right? But yeah, country like Bhutan, what is the whole point of mining for them, Len? It's to add a little bit of firepower, a little bit of horsepower to their operation, right? And they've clearly been able to do that. That's 23 million at last week's value that they didn't have at their disposal before. They used for programming, they used for infrastructure, they used for salaries, whatever. Good for them. I like to see that. That's 23 million they didn't have to get from the IMF, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, good point. So number go up with Bitcoin price. Not just that, also the mining goes up, because if you look at the mining adjustment, it went up almost 8% this past week. That's a huge jump. And for those who aren't aware of what the hell I'm talking about, the Bitcoin network tries to maintain blocks being built every 10 minutes. This could be sped up if more equipment is added to the network. And so a way for this to be adjusted is the difficulty goes up in the way that it tries to maintain that 10-minute average. So every 2 weeks, the difficulty is adjusted. And this past week, we had an 8% adjustment, which is pretty big. It went up. And this comes at a time when miners in Texas, they were being told to curtail their energy to send it off to the grid itself, because Texas was getting fucking hot, right?
Yeah.
And so people needed to power up their ACs for longer. Or maybe they just didn't have them powered up. Now they need them. All that shit, right? So it gets hot. They need more energy. Less energy being sent to miners. Maybe things are starting to cool down slightly in Texas. I don't know. Maybe this is the cause for the increase. I have no fucking clue. Either way,
that flood too, right? The flood probably contributes as well. There's probably something going on there. Who knows,
no
right?
idea,
Yeah,
but there's more equipment being plugged into the tune that 8% increase. That now Bitcoin mining, the difficulty is at an all-time high. So that's another thing that's at an all-time high. The network average over the previous 7 days is 910 exahash per second. If you want to do the numbers, you can see how many fucking zeros that is. That's a lot of computational power. And so this latest spike in the price of Bitcoin makes it also more economical to plug in equipment that may not have been profitable before.
Yep.
So that's going to then increase the difficulty, increase them. So it's great. It's just a feedback loop here. And I know this number can't go up forever with respect to the difficulty, but for now, there's still a lot more equipment like S21s that are better than the S19s. They're going to come online. It's amazing to see how much electricity, how much computational power is being allocated towards Bitcoin. It makes sense for a lot of folks.
Do you know what the best part about the hash rate hitting all-time high at the same time the price hits an all-time high is?
What?
That Ethereum has seen nothing but decline against Bitcoin since they moved from super high power consumption to proof of stake. They made the most obvious tactical error about their network security, and they are paying the price for it in such a big way. They went all in on environmentalism, on energy preservation, on proof of stake, and said, look, we think this is the right thing to do. Bitcoin's got this wrong. Look at the environment's getting hotter, whatever. The price tells the story. The most important thing about these digital assets is the scarcity and the proof of work. This is the whole equation. The difficulty adjustment that comes with mining, critical. The tied to the tangible real world through mining, critical. The power purchase agreements and who can find the most stranded energy and the cheapest energy, critical. And on top of that, like you mentioned, Len, when you have base load demand that you can offload at the blink of an eye in a mining data center, outstanding. When you have equipment sitting in the garage that you can plug in when it gets profitable, outstanding. That's what drives the incentives that make the network go. Okay. It is really it is the liquor in that cocktail. And Ethereum it's just a huge, obvious mistake, like obvious mistake they made. And you know how I know they know it was an obvious mistake? Because on the recent run up in price, there was Ethereum Foundation addresses selling Ethereum 50% below its all-time high just because they got a bit of a price spike over the last week or so. These people know they're fucked. They know they're fucked. The question is, do the rest of the Ethereum holders know? The bankless guys, I think Bank of America today said Ethereum's going to be the cross currency platform of the future. Are you retarded? What about Ethereum tells you that it's going to be the cross currency platform of the future? You sound like the XRP guys. That was a once mighty second place token that has been completely like relegated to AAA. And they're never coming back. They're never coming back to the majors. Too many. We've talked about this before. Too many tokens do what Ethereum does better, faster, and cheaper. Ethereum had such a first mover advantage in the altcoin space and just like fumbled it every chance they got. And this is what you wind up with now. You got to watch from the sideline as our hash rate makes an all-time high, our price makes an all-time high, our adoption makes an all-time high, our legitimacy makes an all-time high, the vibes are at an all-time high. What's going on over there? It's just a bunch of type 2 diabetics fucking sitting around crying on each other's shoulders with oddly colored hair.
Joey,
ill-fitting suits. It's just ill-fitting suits over there at Ethereum.
You said a name and then you haven't said it in weeks. Bankless. Right? Like it's been several weeks since I've heard the name Bankless before. Are you still listening to that show?
Let's do the Bankless episode vibe checked. Let's see. Monday's show. Are tokenized stocks real? Spoiler.
Wait. Monday. Are they doing daily shows?
They do one every so often. This is great. The Friday show title. This is their weekly summary show. The title: Bitcoin all-time high. Is ETH next? Short answer: no. July 8th show: Ethereum strategy to win over Wall Street, from Joe Lubin and Danny Ryan. Those guys are real unbiased participants. Like the cope is real over there now. And I haven't listened in a while because I just don't have time. But I mean, come on, Len. This is like, it's starting to get pretty clear, I think, even to those guys, that there's going to be a loser here, and it's going to be them. It's going to be them.
Cathedral Bitcoin is going through some changes, and AJ Scalia and Drew Armstrong both resigned.
Friend of the show, man.
And now they have Cathedral appointed a new CEO and chairman of the board. His name is Joel Block.
Interesting.
If you have a guy named Block running a Bitcoin mining company, it just really makes sense. I don't have much to say about this aside from, wow, this company, I just looked at the price of the shares, and I think it was sitting around, could be wrong, a few years back in 2021, 2022, it was like around 70 cents USD. Mm-hmm. Now it's around 4 cents USD. And again, it could be wrong. I'm just going based on memory. But it's just taken a real beating. And I feel bad for these guys. I don't know what caused them to leave, if they were pushed or they decided their time was up. So. I don't have a fucking clue.
I think they were pushed.
Yeah, it's just goes to show you it's a cutthroat game, Bitcoin mining. And another one that we used to talk about a lot, Luxfolio. I just for a joke decided to take a look at their stock price. It's fucking rebounding, Joey.
What?
Luxfolio's I don't know what they have to offer, but it's now around 75 cents. I don't know how it went up this much in the span of what the and didn't they adopt a Litecoin type strategy too as well?
Yeah, Litecoin treasury strategy.
For some reason, it's
you thought the Ethereum guys. You thought the Ethereum guys were bad. There's still Litecoin people out there. It's like Litecoin people are like the guys who were discovered, 30 years after the Vietnam War, still in foxholes. Like, over, boys. Put the guns away. We're done here.
Well, they're still doing it. Yeah. Anyways, I like that guy that looked like a young
Larry King.
Larry King. Thank you, Larry. I was going to say Peter.
God bless that guy. Listen, on the subject of Cathedra, I wish Drew and AJ the best. They came on the show when we were in our infancy, and they were babies too. They were really young. I think Drew was probably not even 30 years old. So I wish those guys the best. I will say a couple of things here that may be unpopular, maybe popular. I don't know, but I'll say it anyway. The lesson here, in light of all these Bitcoin treasury companies hiring quote unquote influencers to be on their boards, to be their strategists, to do whatever, Brunel, Burnett, you name it, right? Leclerc, Clemente, I don't know what he's doing these days. Maybe he's on there too, but the lesson here, if AJ, Drew, and Marty, who's on that board, can't get your company into the good books of investors, then you need to have a good company and not just good influencers. Okay, that's number one. Number two is Marty and Matt run, 1021 or whatever it's called. I forget. A VC outfit that supports Bitcoin companies, and Preston Pish and Lynn Alden and a few others. Jeff Booth running Ego Death. They're investing in companies going to outperform Bitcoin. This is a hill that's getting steeper and steeper. Whether it's VC or mining or anything, it's getting harder and harder. There's a lot of people who are.
How the fuck is it not 1031? Sorry, 1021. They're saying it's 1031 is the real.
It's 1031. Yeah.
Well, I think, right. I think
31 is not 1021. Because I think the day the white paper was released was October 31st.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah, I forget. But anyway, the point is that you need quality. You need quality at the company level, not just at the board level and the tweet level. Okay, it's not a meme game when it comes to capital allocation. People don't give a fuck if Natalie Brunel is on your board. Nat's done a lot of good things for Bitcoin, but is she going to add value as a board member to a zombie company that adds a Bitcoin treasury strategy? I would argue no. I think Semler's going to find that out the hard way. But
wait, Semler, I could be wrong.
Semler put Brunel on their board maybe a month ago or something like that.
Yeah, but what Semler does, though, I think Boomer was the one that said it last week.
Medical equipment or something like that. Yeah.
Is that they're using the profits? They're not going into debt. They're not diluting. And with respect to that, if you are adopting a strategy like that, it's hard for me to shit on it.
I'm not shitting on it. I'm not shitting on the strategy. I'm shitting on that they think the strategy is not good enough to bring in new capital. And it's evidenced by the media tour, by the Brunel add to the board. Those are my opinions. You can disagree or agree. People in the chat, I see the chat's lighting up. I can't read the comments. I'm blind. That's the other thing. Third thing, Mr. Block was part of the American Mining Hut 8 merger. And so to me, it says that Drew and AJ were pushed out and that company they want to become a target for acquisition. How attractive is that company as a target for acquisition? I really don't know. I don't know what their operations like. Yeah, I mean, we could probably
CBP
afford it.
Takeover. We're gonna fucking
cost 10. What is it? 10 BTC? Can we get it for 10 BTC? I don't know. We'll think about it. But
we'll do it for 1021 sats.
Yeah, whatever we get in boost next week, we'll put into the coffers and make an offer. It'll cost us more for the legal fees, but whatever. I don't know how attractive a company that is for an acquisition, given that they couldn't hack it as a miner on their own. And that now they're losing what arguably was the most positive thing about them. These sort of young wildcatter type visionary guys at the helm. Are they just another company waiting to get swallowed up now? I guess. This is what happens in mining. There's a lot of M&A in mining, a lot of M&A in markets generally. And I think that there's a lot of people who are, kind of saying, well, this company was doing XYZ well. I'm not sure why they fired their two biggest names. Well, the reason they fired them is because the board is tired of waiting. They want the return on their investment. They want whatever. And the only way to get it, I think, is to be acquired. So interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. I know a lot of people are invested in that company. I used to be a Cathedral stockholder. They had some great merch I never bought. I wish I had now, but anyway.
Sell it to you.
Yeah, I think that I'm waiting for the fire sale. Like when they start selling the shelves out of the offices, that's when I'll make a pitch for a hat. I'll try and get
maybe when you buy 10 shares, they'll throw in a shirt or something. So there may be right. There could be a way to entice investors to come in.
There was a time when Hut 8 was so unknown that if you bought a few shares, you could message Sue Ennis on Instagram or Facebook, I think, or LinkedIn or something, and she would send you a shirt. Like our buddy Manny Monero got stuff sent to his house by messaging, direct messaging. Sue Ennis, who at the time was like the public relations lead for Hut 8. So there you go. Things have come a long way. God bless Sue, you know, another friend of the show. But I would just say that there's, you know, I think there's a lot of companies out there that are not
pissed off that he's all in on Monero, at least hard in Monero.
Yeah.
Hasn't been doing all that well comparatively to Bitcoin.
No.
Man, what the fuck you do? I guess we'll do one or two more stories. Sweden, they have a new law, and they're active right now in the field of crypto seizures, quote unquote. And so this law was put in place November 2024, and which, according to Cointelegraph, allows for the confiscation of luxury items and cash from individuals, even if they aren't a target of an investigation. How fucked up is that, Joe? You don't have to be target of an investigation for them to come hard from you. According to the Swedish government, and I quote, "It will be possible to take assets with criminal origins from criminals, regardless of whether or not it can be proven that someone had committed an actual offense."
Yeah.
So you don't have to have committed an offense to have this thing potentially taken from you. So they passed this law as a way to address violent crime in Sweden. I'm not sure why there's a spike in violent crime in Sweden, but maybe this is a topic for a different segment of the show. This is the
back half. We
can talk about it more there. Right now we're talking about Bitcoin. But it's laws like this that make owning your own coin, like, you know, not your keys, not your coin. It's all the more important because leaving shit on an exchange is a recipe for disaster, especially in Sweden. If you could see if they could take it, even if you're just there, you're fucking just living, it could be taken from you. And they say that Sweden is trying to deal with an unexplained wealth. So when somebody mysteriously gets a bunch of wealth, you know, they could do it playing poker, they could get chance by meme coining, what the fuck you're doing. They have a target on their back. Right? Sure. They could be fucking degenning. I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying potential somebody could get wrecked or make a big time over there. Either way, this just reminds me of the shit where you are guilty until proven innocent. And the only way to really protect yourself is you got to learn how to hold on to your own keys. Because if you do not, and there's a target on your back, you'll never get your Bitcoin. It's gone. It's lost. Forget about it. So do yourself a favor and learn how to use Sparrow, learn how to use your own node, learn how to develop your keys offline, never expose it to the internet. All that bullshit, you got to learn it before it's too late.
How is this any different from, I mean, it's not that it's not any different. It obviously, there's some differences in the wording, but, you know, we just passed that bill here, or we're looking at passing that bill here where you can have your mail opened if you're being investigated, you can have your assets looked into, you can have your information shared. You're going to start seeing this more and more because soon it will be a crime to do basically anything that jeopardizes state power. And state power means a lot of things, but I think in this context, it means, you know, they say violent crime. We've talked on the other show, Axis of Easy, about a lot of the ways that these things are framed. I think in this case, it means like, are you accumulating enough wealth that you can leave, for example, without really dealing with taxes or issues? Are you accumulating enough wealth that you can be a political force? I think a lot of states are looking at what's going on with Elon Musk right now. And, you know, in addition to trying to paint him as a Nazi, they are privately saying, we cannot let people amass this level of wealth in our country because this guy now is a menace for politicians. He's the only guy on the planet with true fuck you money, and it shows. And as, you know, wealth consolidates with the most productive people running the best companies, selling the best products, and away from politicians, parties, middling corporations, middling businesses, traditional donors, those corporations no longer want to align necessarily with governments. What they want to do is influence them. And the shift from partner to, you know, what's the best way to put this? From the shift by big business and you know, big money from government partner to government pusher has been quick and decisive in the United States, and I think you're going to start seeing it other places too. You know when you really noticed it? CEOs of major companies like Spotify, like Shopify, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta now, they're not afraid to say what they think is actually true because they know a couple of things. One, they control the money. Two, politicians are, not long for this world. And three, maybe most importantly, they control the flow of information. The Spotify guy decides what podcasts you can hear. He can say whatever he wants. He can push to his platform whatever he wants. How much pressure was that guy under when Rogan was saying that the vaccines don't work? Right? Take him down. He's a pseudoscience. He's hurting people. He just said, no, I'm not going to. I'm worth a couple billion. I don't need to worry about what you think. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Oh, there is nowhere else because I consolidated power at the top. Like this is the game now that's being played, I think, in a lot of places. And you're going to see this more and more, that there's a thinly veiled attempt to prevent wealth accumulation at all costs. And I expect it to continue, personally.
Let's do one last story because we're coming up on an hour. I've been only here for 10 minutes. Peter Schiff.
We're going to talk about Schiff.
I love this. And I think he's a troll.
We never talked about Schiff's weird pedo comments on Twitter like a month ago.
I don't even want to go there.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck he was on that time. I don't know if he was trolling. Maybe he was
too much Robitus in that night.
No, but I think he's an ultimate troll.
Okay.
And so people, they were scraping his old tweets this past week, especially since the price of Bitcoin hit all-time high, multiple times. And they came across this beauty that reads, Schiff wrote, just had a client liquidate his entire IRA and put 100% of the proceeds into Bitcoin. What are the odds this turns out to be a wise move? The date of this was August 29th, 2017. The price of Bitcoin at that time, $4K. Now, I'm not sure what happened to that client, if he held it all the way to today. If he did, good for him. But clearly that was the wrong signal to put out by Peter Schiff. And here we go. 4K at that time. I don't know what the fuck it is. 120 or the fuck.
Yeah.
Love him, man. Absolutely love the guy. He's a troll.
Yeah.
I think he's a Bitcoiner.
He's the best.
Really do.
I would love to get him on the show. I haven't reached out to him in a while. A couple of years ago I tried, but maybe now we could get him. We'll love to give it a shot. The worst thing about Schiff is that guy has done so much for hard money and just hates Bitcoin. Like he just hates it.
It's a shtick, I think.
I don't know. I mean, his whole business is selling gold. So
yeah, but they accept Bitcoin.
Well, I mean,
he's probably stacking it that way.
He put out a public wallet address, did he not? And so now you can see how many people have sent him Bitcoin or donated Bitcoin to him. So he's got quite a bit now. Good for him. He's in the Bitcoin movie that eventually gets made. He's going to have a role for sure. And there's going to be no worse than a C-list actor playing him. And so that's more than I can say for you and me in that same movie. So good for you, Pete.
I remember when he went to the Lion's Den, Occupy Wall Street, and it was just him.
Great videos. Those are great videos. Yeah.
It's not. I don't think he had a huge crew with him. I'm guessing it was just him and his camera guy or gal or whatever. So he could have easily got the shit kicked out of him at that particular moment.
Not by that crowd. Like, not a lot of threatening people in that crowd, unfortunately.
Not individually, but collectively, I think that they could have done damage. So
yeah, you think how many 100 Occupy Wall Street versus one Gold Ape? You think? They could
that's I'd love to see this. We should do this in AI video and see what comes out. So if anybody has a way to generate a video for AI, please do it and send it to us. We'll play it on next week's show. Joy, I think that's it.
Let's go to the notables. We'll be right back if you're on video. Actually, you know what? No matter what your format is, we're not going to be right back. We're either going to be back tomorrow or we're not going to go anywhere. So in either case, stay tuned and we'll talk to you soon.
And don't be a cock.
I really think the more I look at this like audio problem, the more I think it's my fault somehow. I don't know how the fuck it could be my fault, but the more I look at it, you're right. The only thing that changed is that I'm sitting in this chair now instead of over there, and I changed the mic to make the cord reach. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. I have no idea. But I just want to say sorry. And if it's my fault, I don't know. I feel like this setup works so well for like a year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just doesn't work now. And I kind of forgot.
And my poor computer, it's a really nice one sitting there. You know, I can't even say what the fuck I had to do to get this one. Anyways, I can say it off air, but I won't even say it now. Joey, I think it's good we talked about 45 and 47, the differences between the two of these guys. I mean, same name, same hair, but different person, right? You remember, and it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I'm gonna guess last year, before he was elected president for a second time, he was saying within 24 hours of being elected, the war between Ukraine and Russia would be over. Right? I heard this thing so many fucking times, right? Here, and it's over 6 months.
Yeah,
he's been in there, right? Not only is the war still going on, incredibly, I just can't believe this. They're even contemplating sending fucking weapons over.
Hell yeah.
Right? I'm old enough to remember when Trump and Z-Man, they sat down, right? And they both took their Viagra, took out the measuring tape to measure each other's dicks. They had that fucking argument, remember? They were playing virtual cards, right? And what happened, remember, they rage quit, they went home and all this shit.
Rage quit. Yeah.
That was a fucking joke, right? But really, in the end, like, I have no idea what fucking game of cards they were playing. But here we are. Like, they're fucking... Fuck the homeless. Fuck the economy.
Yeah.
We're going to just continually fund this fucking war.
They're sending weapons now, right? That's the plan, a basket of weapons. More than Biden, I think, is the...
But they do this. For what purpose, Joey? It's going to enrich the people that are responsible for creating said weapons. So the friends and families of these people, they're going to get fucking rich. And still people are going to sit at home. 24 hours he's supposed to get rid of this war, and it's not. Like, give me a fucking break, right? And you know what's funny? You know, people laugh at Canada, right? We have this elbows up movement, right? It is fucking comical. Like, you can't deny the fact that it's a fucking joke, right? But yeah, like, it's fucking funny. But at least next time there's a wedding, we're ready when the chicken dance song plays. We're fucking prepped. You guys, we may look dumb, but we don't go there and kiss the fucking wall. We're not doing that, man. Like, we don't fucking take care of it. Like, we do our thing.
Yeah.
It seems to be, for whatever reason, I don't know what, we're better shape here, it seems, for what I don't know what. But even with that, the fucking Ukraine thing, that drove me nuts, that they're sending not just fucking weapons, but even more money, it looks like. Then on top of that, this is why 47 is just pathetic compared to 45. Then you get this fucking Maxwell thing.
Oh, God.
Right? Like, you think about, like, Maxwell's convicted sex trafficker.
Yeah.
Transporting minors for illegal sex, all that shit, right? She was put in jail, right? There's no list, right? Like,
no list.
So, like, the way I configured this was done. All this was done. Jeff must have been one horny motherfucker if there's no fucking list. If
he was busting a lot, buddy, for sure.
How the fuck is this possible, right? And on top of this, I can't believe this. Fucking incredibly, it gets fucking better. Just when we're fed all this slop, they come in with this fucking dessert, and here you go, eat this fucking thing. Trump is making the claim that the Democrats are responsible for the Epstein list, the creation of this. Let's get this. Like, we got to figure this thing out. Maybe I got my
Did you see the tape? Did you see the tape?
No, I saw that.
The tape is the best. There's a minute missing in the middle of the tape.
How do you have that? Like, how does the guy disappear? Like, kill himself?
A minute missing, and then at Wired, somebody at Wired or some adjacent sort of digital publication took the metadata from the tape. They never changed the metadata. So the video is actually made up of 2 videos stitched together and was saved or edited 4 separate times.
I've seen speedrunners.
Amazing.
I've seen people try to fake speedruns with better technicalities than this. right? Like this is fucking bullshit,
Yeah.
right? So like how does the Democrats, they were leaderless. They had the weekend at Biden's they were dealing with cocaine found in the fucking White House.
Could have been anyone's.
They're dealing with fucking tunnels being dug, the Obama chef drowning in a fucking thimble full of water. And they come up with this story. What the fuck is this? These stories, they're fucking bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit, right? These guys, you know what it is? They just got to go back to the glory hole of that fucking wall, get their rocks off, give it a kiss again, call it a day. The Z-Man, right? Fuck them all, right? This guy, that's just how the cards, we're getting ready. They're shuffled, right? They're ready to fucking deal up. Money's coming to you. Weapons are coming to you. You do what you want because it's going to be coming right from the fucking printer. They're gonna lower rates. For what purpose? Again, it's to fund everybody, make everybody, well, not everybody, the friends and family rich. They're going to know what to invest in, how to invest it, and when to fucking pull out. It's fucking bullshit. Like, how the fuck did this Democrat, how do you come up with this idea that the Democrats are fucking creating this story?
Okay, so a couple of things. I actually believe that Trump should resign. He should resign.
I never thought of that. Yes.
He should. He's been a complete flop, complete failure. There's a reason you don't see me wearing my hat anymore. Okay, I like the hat; it fits well. It riles people up, but I can't. He hasn't done a good job. He just straight up hasn't done a good job. I actually, as well, think that he probably will. If I had to guess, he will do the podcast circuit again during his first 2 years in office before the midterms. And he will try and justify and defend and do a media blitz, him and Vance both probably, and say why and how and what. And it'll be a disaster because the Epstein thing looms large. He went from being a social media tank to now everything he posts, all the comments underneath are just about Epstein tapes, files, lists, crimes, kids. Every reply is like that. And Elon ain't going to take those replies down, you know? That's a big problem for him now. Like I said, menace to the administration at this point. I also think that we're watching the complete dissolution of any any apparition that you may have seen related to the independence of the Federal Reserve. This guy is on TV. His Secretary of Commerce, his Secretary of the Treasury, is on TV. They're all on TV every day bashing Powell, getting ready to replace him. Besant saying the other day that, or Besant, however you say his name, saying the other day that, oh, every president is able to criticize the Federal Reserve Chairman. Yeah, criticize is one thing. But calling the guy too late Jerome, telling him he needs to resign, you're going to be fired anyway, you're hurting the economy, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is like something out of a Banana Republic. I'm here for it. I love it. It's great content. It's great shit. I'll still laugh about Donnie every time he gets on Twitter or on Truth Social and says something. But let's be serious, okay? You got guys like Bongino, Bondi, Patel, all tweeting stuff about we're cracking down on crime. Like they're tweeting tons of shit. And in every reply section, it's nothing but Epstein. That's what everybody wants to know. Epstein went from being a guy who was a private school teacher to owning the most expensive piece of real estate on the Upper East Side of Manhattan and having private parties on an island where Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, and others went to discuss what exactly? Were they doing like a glass of wine and finger painting? What were they doing? What are we talking about here? You can say what you want about the crimes or allegations, but let's face it, okay? There's something fishy about a guy going from public school, private school teacher, math teacher, to what seems to be some kind of global, globe-trotting, socialite savant billionaire with a black book that would make, Mick Jagger jealous. How does that happen? Well, I don't know. Here's the tape. We cut a minute out. See you later. It's absolutely insane that this was the response from the administration. The administration is incompetent. They're incompetent. It's like I say this all the time, Len. That these guys think they are operating in an information environment that is long gone, where you can just say something and no one will pull the receipts. No one will pull the tapes. No one will pull the replay. No one will ask you about something you said before. No one will raise a hard question. No one will talk about it. No one has access anyways. They don't need it. They can ask whatever they want. Peter Ducey, who took a lot of shit, by the way, from the left during the Corinne Jean-Pierre press conferences for giving her a hard time. He put Levitt on the hot seat the other day about this. And he was right to. That guy's maybe the only real politician in the White House press corps at this point. But anyway, it's a strange world out there, and we are just living in it. And I think Bitcoiners are especially well equipped to look at this with a critical eye. Here's a question for you. Have you talked to any over 60s, over 65s about this? Do they care? Do they know? Is it even on their radar?
No, I didn't talk to anybody over 60. Talked to somebody late 50s about this, and he had no idea.
Crazy. That's what I mean. Like, what do they care?
I got close.
Yeah.
No, because the reason is because they're either too busy working or they're too busy enjoying their life. The people that have means, they're enjoying their life and they don't give a shit. And the people that are working, well, they're just too busy just trying to put food on their fucking table. And this kind of stuff just doesn't really matter to them. It's secondary in their lives.
Maybe, yeah. Possible.
I think that in reality we're looking at people that are puppets here. Right? Like there's a puppet master. And
who is it? What is it? Who is it? Who is the guy pulling who's the Wizard of Oz in this? I have no idea.
Geez.
Is it Peter Thiel? Is it Peter Thiel, the Thiel Bucks? I don't know.
I don't know if it's somebody that's located statewide.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
I can see Mark in the chat. Mark says this all the time, that there is no string puller. And I agree with him 99.9% of the time. But then I look at shit like this and I'm like, somebody has got to be in this guy's ear, either threatening him or telling him what to say. Who is the
Joey? How do you go from
I have no idea.
Within a few hours, you go from the extreme of this thing is bullshit, and then you go ahead and bomb a country.
Yeah.
And then you say ceasefire, but then the ceasefire only applies to one side.
They just unload. Yeah, they empty the clip. Yeah, exactly.
How does this there is a playing field that's not even.
Yeah.
Right? It's slanted to one side, and the ball always rolls downhill, and they're always scoring goals, and it's fucking bullshit. Right? And the same people are on the ones that are always scoring goals. How? I don't know what they have. I don't know but there's something here. And
who's
it
they?
Seems I don't know what the fuck they are. But it seems like they're able to fucking pull the strings, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's clearly something going on. Yeah.
It's either that or they're fucking clowns. Right? They're total, we're watching Pagliacci, a modern day G-rated version of Pagliacci, just minus the hair. That's really what it is. It's either they're fucking clowns or they're being told what to fucking do.
Isn't the other possibility that there's just big names from both sides in the States affiliated with this list and this guy, and it's best just to bury this thing. And so what you have is this limited hangout now where, there's about to be some kind of news release and everyone knows there's about to be a news release and it's become too obvious. And so to sort of calm things, there's a small selection of new information that's just salacious enough to occupy the public's attention, while not being salacious enough to drive them to the core of the issue. You kind of see this. You see this pretty often, I think, now that looking back on certain things over the years. COVID, a great example. The Wuhan lab. Well, there's a lab there. Oh fuck.
You think,
and they say, yeah, it was a lab leak, but really, the lab leak was the limited hangout. The full set of data comes out years later. Oh, it was a lab leak, and Fauci was the guy pumping money into the gain of function research. The guy who's now telling you to get the vaccine. The guy who's the whole U.S. political system and political sort of power broker economy is fucking insane. It's fucking insane. And it's a lot of people who are not stateside, like you mentioned, pulling strings. So to me, it's obvious at this point that there's something going on between a number of different countries involving this guy. And we're just, I'm just watching. I'm just watching the play. I'm watching, we're at intermission. I'll get some more popcorn and come back and sit down and we'll talk about it next week again. That's all. What else am I supposed to do besides laugh? I don't know.
No, but the sad thing is people were hurt through all this, right? People's lives were changed. Families were like, there's so much that people don't, there's a lot more to it. There's a human component to this that we're kind of overlooking, and it's sad. And you figure Elon Musk, he really wants to put the nail Trump to the cross, so to speak. You figure he would have the ability to go through all the data that's been stored on Twitter, not just like the tweets that have been protected now. If you look at Maxwell's account, it's now locked.
And her Reddit moderator account as well. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if he has access to that, but certainly he has access to the Twitter stuff. But then there's also the DM stuff. There must be information that was exchanged through DMs on Twitter that he has access to. Then why isn't this being released? Right, as a way to like fuck you.
So okay, so she wants to talk to the press now, right?
She wants to use that. I'm assuming as a way to lessen her sentence, right? If you want my information, I'll be happy to. But I trade this for something. What am I trading it for? Let's go. Let's talk, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so nothing is free. Why would she just come out now and do this? Like, what's the rationale?
Let me ask you something now. If she ends up dead. Is that a bridge too far? Is that going to push people over the edge if it's a suicide or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Oh, like what happened to today so far? Like, you have her husband gone, like McAfee gone, like all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like those is not the bridge too far. We've crossed that. Fuck that. It's just another example of this.
I think my prediction is that the limited hangout continues and it moves to there's a new revelation about the client list and the sexual crimes, and it drives people enough that they drop this whole thing, but you never actually get to the juiciest part of the apple, which is the relationship that Epstein has with foreign nations. That's the big one, the intelligence links. And I think that's the hangout you're not going to get to see. That's my view. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I think if I had to bet that, that's where I would come down.
Want to talk about A&W?
Sure. Most of the time you have a pretty good segue, but it's hard to move from child trafficking to Hindu commercials. I think is where we're going with this, probably. So
yeah, they're getting a lot of flack here because there's some commercials in Canada from A&W because they're having a difficult time understanding the language that's being spoken. Not all people, just some people are having some difficult time understanding because apparently the commercials are done in Hindi, not Punjabi, which a lot of people are saying, but actually Hindi. I don't know why they chose that language. Either way, that was their preference for doing up this commercial. All I can say is from all this is just like keep accelerating, like keep this going, right? Like, what else could you say? It's funny stuff.
Okay, let me ask you something. I'm gonna press you a little bit here.
Go ahead.
I got to fart. The question I have for you is one that's close to home for me. It's probably close to home for you too. We're both Paisans. So do you remember 20, 30 years ago? Like I remember watching TV at my Nona's house, Omni, Channel 4.
Yeah, right after.
And Channel 4 used to have a lot of Italian commercials for products that you'd see in the grocery store. Ital Pasta ran an Italian commercial. There was some other Italian commercials for sauces and certain seasonings and vegetables, restaurants. They didn't run in English. They ran in Italian. And they were products that were available here in Canada from chains that operated, again, domestically. At that time, was there a Joey and Len somewhere talking on their porch or at the social club or something and saying, we just got to accelerate, these Italians causing problems. And now it's not even English or French, it's in Italian, the commercials. That's me playing devil's advocate, because I think if I look at those times, yeah, that probably did seem weird to Canadians in that era. That why the fuck is there first of all, why is there a domestic station playing Italian television? Number one, because that was true as well, right? They played Italian soaps on Omni. And why is there commercials for Canadian for products on Canadian shelves that are running in full Italian. Interesting, right? That happened in the past. Now you're seeing it for A&W. I don't know where I should be drawing the line on this. I do think it's weird, number one. I do think that there has to be some inclination or like incentive for these guys to assimilate. And if A&W is serving, you know, in Indian or in Hindu or whatever the language is, then does that lessen the incentive to assimilate? Yeah, probably. But I'm not sure I care that much about this. You know what I'm saying? Where you come down?
I like the fact they're doing this. I want this acceleration to keep happening. So
You don't think there's any line to be drawn between the Italians of a bygone era, like, you know, my grandparents, your grandparents?
Milano commercials fondly, or Unico.
Yeah.
I remember those clearly. But with respect to this, I don't want to draw parallels. I just want this thing to keep going. I like this. And the interesting thing is, when you go to A&W, you're ordering, I'm assuming, a burger, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a Hindu, you're not going to eat beef.
Why? Is that true?
Yeah, because it's a sacred animal for Hindus.
Oh yeah, I guess the cow.
Sikh is different.
Yeah, okay.
I think Sikh could eat meat, but certainly Hindus can't eat beef.
Interesting.
They can eat chicken, I believe. Some people are the chicken thing. Whatever the fuck it is, either way. Toronto homelessness just keeps going up. Number go up, even for that too.
That's an all-time high.
It's truly an all-time high. So 2021 was a point where they looked at, and since 2021, it's more than doubled. Since then, like
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Right? And it's not going to make it any easier moving forward, because once you are sent on the streets, the economy is not very strong as it is. So it's not like you're going to find a job that's going to prop you up. I mean, you probably can, but the likelihood is slim in a strong economy. Now you have the fact that the economy is shit, and you're competing with a bunch more homeless people. So getting propped up and getting to a point where you're able then to afford your own place, it's going to be challenging. So these people that are homeless, they're probably going to be in this state for quite a while. So they're going to need to be cared for. They're going to need to have, the community is going to have to somehow provide for them and shit, like, and it's just getting worse. And Toronto, I'm not sure if you've gone there lately, but man, oh man, everybody that goes there lately says it's a different place than where it was, say, 10 years ago. So it's insane what's happened in a short period of time in Canada and in Toronto. And I grew up in Toronto. Where I started from, first few years of my life, I was a young in Lawrence. And I could tell you right now, I used to take the subway, take all this shit. And you can't do that now. Like, if you can't have like a 12-year-old go ahead and take the subway by themselves in the city.
No chance.
I mean, I'm sure some do, but it's just not the same, right? It's just trending in the wrong direction. It's accelerating in the wrong direction.
I mean, everybody knows immigration destroyed major cities in the country. You dance around it all you want. There's a cultural problem. There's a respect for women problem. There's a religious fault lines problem. You name it. These are people who aren't interested in being Canadian. That's the fact of the matter. I mean, you can call me whatever you want, but this is, it's evidenced and on display literally every time you turn on the TV, go outside, do whatever. Like, you see it everywhere. Okay, so spare me the lecture. I don't care what you think. I don't know if you know what's happening in Hamilton with the homeless population, but it's increased a significant amount as well. I'm not sure if it was a clean double like Toronto, but I went to a wedding 2 weekends ago down at Leuna Station, which is at the end of James Street by the new GO station. You know Leuna? Leuna is the Labour International Union of North America.
I see that sign on the QEW.
Yeah. So Leuna's they have a beautiful hall. My wife and I went to look at that hall. It's a little too dated for my taste, but if you're kind of into classic weddings, then yeah, you might like it. It's too expensive, and the food's pretty middling, in my opinion. Don't hold it against me.
Was it A&W?
No, it was I forget what you call them, certain kind of steak. But anyway, on the way down there, we had to drive past City Hall. And what the homeless in Hamilton have done, because the city has basically said no more tenting in parks, you're not allowed anymore, they all set up shop in front of City Hall. There's 100 tents, if not more, and it's like a full hobo market in front of City Hall. There's people giving out clothes, giving out water. They get a lot of support, it looks like, from the community. And the police are apparently writing tickets to these people about having tents up, as if they're ever going to be able to capitalize, collect, arrest.
Yeah, talk about bleeding, taking blood from a stone. Like
it's really tough. And so the politicians now, I think, are starting to feel the heat a little bit on homelessness here, because it's one thing to walk by it if you're walking your dog in the park and there's like a guy bent over, strung out, but it's nothing entirely to have to hear them every day, see them every day. They talk to you every day. They know who you are. They're getting media attention, community support, and more. You know, if the homeless in Toronto ever organized like that, Len, they could do a lot of harm. You're talking blocking streets, blocking city services, blocking politicians, blocking highways.
You should have like another Palestine protest. That's
I mean, yeah, exactly, right. Except no third world flags, just a bunch of Canadian Tire four pole tents. So, you know, it's weird that this is going on, but I almost admire the sort of like logistical chops of these guys to be able to put something like that together. I don't know if they did it independently or if it was organic, but it seems to be working here. There's more discussion about it now than there was certainly 6 months ago. But in Toronto, like, the infrastructure is already a lot more difficult. Like, the traffic in Toronto is already basically impossible to navigate. Highways are already always in gridlock. City services are already hard to get. Ambulances already not answering calls. If you start organizing in a way that makes it difficult, you get a lot of attention really quickly.
So what do you do?
There's too many people.
Say you're a municipal councillor. We'll just start at that level of the political spectrum.
Sure.
What do you do? The answer is nothing.
I don't know.
Right? There's nothing. So provincially, what could you do? Say you're an MPP. What the heck? Nothing. Right? Yeah. Federally, you're an MP. What could you like? It's hard.
It's hard. I don't know.
Right. So you have an individual that's down in their luck, either because of circumstances or they just don't have the ability.
Some combination of the two, right? The wherewithal is not what it should be. The circumstances drove you there. Yeah.
It covers the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you have somebody that they're just not able to work for it, and then they're on the streets. How the heck do you get them off the streets? I honestly
a front loader and a fire hose. I don't know what else are you supposed to do.
So this problem, it's just never going to go away.
I don't think so, honestly.
And it will only get worse, right? Because it's like Bitcoiners. Today, there's so many Bitcoiners. I guarantee you tomorrow there's going to be more Bitcoiners than today. Yeah. Today there's homeless. Tomorrow I can guarantee you there's going to be a little bit more homeless than there are today. And it will continually be like that.
Who knew we had so much in common with the tent aficionados out there?
Number go up, man. Number go up. I like another number that's going up is tariffs in Canada. August 1st, 35%.
Yeah, buddy.
Across the board for goods.
My elbows are tired, boss.
Well, you know what? Let's
can Mike Myers help me with the tariffs? Like, can we
there's more than that, Joey. It's not just this. Like, okay, because initially it was about fentanyl, right? It was about the border issue. Okay, then they decided that we'll put more people on the border, and okay, then it appeased Trump. Then the next thing comes up. It was the digital service tax. All right, we'll cancel it. Okay, then it appeased them. Now it's fucking dairy and fentanyl and who knows what about. Like, it just seems like there's something else, right? So like seems like there's no appeasing him in terms of avoiding this.
Get rid of all that stuff. Get rid of it.
But you'll still have tariffs coming on. You'll still put it on.
What? Then we should be more independent. National Post ran a story today, Globe Mail ran a story today that we should align more closely with China instead of the United States. Make of that what you will. That's going
to piss off Trump even more.
Interesting. Yeah.
I remember what we did with Huawei's.
Of course. Mike in the morning. I remember. Yeah.
So I don't know if
the radio hosts. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I think that's why they're trying to get buddy with Europe, because it seems like at least, and I don't know what's the deal with this, what they're trying to achieve. I'm sorry, I know what they're trying to achieve, but I'm not sure how it is they're going to try to achieve it, because what does Europe have to offer?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to buy our energy? Are we going to bring it to market? I don't know.
I don't agree with Mark Carney on everything, but he's not in an enviable position for sure. He's now, I think he knew before, but my gut feeling is that he's trying to run this country like a business. It seems to me that his cabinet is not not influencing a lot of his decisions, that the party's not influencing a lot of, he doesn't view himself as a politician, certainly a long-term politician. So he's trying to do things that maybe other politicians may not consider popular. I applaud him for that. I think we need that in the country. Whether I necessarily agree with the direction or not is a different story entirely. But that's the kind of attitude you need from a politician, in my view. And I think he's realizing now that there are a lot of weird niche problems here that most partner countries in trade don't like. Stockwell Day brought this up on Friday, that, New Zealand has also mentioned our dairy issue. Other trade partners, when he was in office, also mentioned our supply management stuff and other weird.
How come they didn't do anything about it?
Defensive tariffs. It's not easy. It's not popular. It's not politically feasible. And when you're a politician, that's what matters. And while I do applaud Stockwell for bringing it up, and I think they're thinking about it more seriously now, and I think Mark Carney's thinking about it seriously now, I don't know that Stockwell Day was in the same position that Mark Carney is to make a difference, right? He was never prime minister, and although Harper was, who knows what other priorities they had. Now, I mean, I keep on hearing the elbows up and tariffs negotiations are the priority. Well, are you going to sacrifice all Canadians at the altar of, supply management for Quebec? I can't imagine that would be politically popular if it ever became a talking point. And as we know, you can only control the information so much. Eventually people are going to go, man, I wouldn't mind paying a couple bucks less for milk if it meant that I also got off some of these stupid tariffs and could buy, American, Mexican, whatever, strawberries again. It's like people care about this stuff more than I think they did before. And while Elbows Up was great during the election, let's face it, it refocuses people on something that they otherwise would not have been paying attention to, like the cost of milk, right? If you hear supply management on TV, the first thing you do is look it up. Oh, there's basically a cabal of, milk gangsters who tell me how much cheese I can make and I got to throw the rest out and they got to charge $8 a brick or whatever, right? Like people don't want to see that in good times. We're in bad times now. They definitely don't want to see it now. And they would have never been on their radar 5 years ago. Now they're refocusing the way they think. So we'll see how it goes, Len. But I think that these are things we should get rid of. It's better for Canadians not to have these things. Canadian companies, I don't know. The milk cartel, I don't know. It's funny, like, to give you an idea of how weird this is, I have a friend from the UK who moved here a few years ago, and one of the first things he told me when he noticed that he thought was weird when him and his now wife were like watching hockey at Leaf games. Do you know what's on the boards as a sponsor?
No clue.
Milk. And he's like, how the fuck can milk be sponsoring the Toronto Maple Leafs? And I had to explain to him, like, dairy here is not like dairy other places. Like, we got big dairy. Dairy is it's a political force here. It's an economic force here. It's blah, blah, blah. It's completely alien to other people. No one else does this. We refuse to compete. We don't compete on telcos or cable or internet or dairy, like everything from cheese to bandwidth. We just refuse to have any competition. And Canadians eventually are going to grow tired of this if they haven't already. And they're, like I said, they're now looking at this probably for the first time in a lot of cases. But it's not going to go well if you do a little bit of digging into this, right? I think most people would realize that.
It's been like this for a long time. You had both the Blues and the Reds. They've had carte blanche to do what they want.
And they didn't do it. I know. I'm with you. Because they need Quebec.
And on top of that, now you have tariffs coming in. Shortly after the stampede was finished, somebody was able to track the plaintiff, Mark Carney.
Conflict, yeah.
He's now in Australia.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically as far away that you could get from Canada. And they say, using carbon and a carbon emitting and all that, it's bad, but for the most part, a lot of us are doing this for our jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to drive from home, then sometimes pick up our kids from school. So the alternatives are, we have none. Just the way the system is set up, the way the country is designed, the way our lives are structured, it's not possible to get away from this. But this is part of our life. We have to do it. We're not doing this for fun. We're not hopping on a plane and going to the other side of the world for shits and giggles. We're trying to get the fucking work. So you gotta the message has got to be, we're doing this, we're gonna work hard, but you just can't hop on a plane and disappear. That doesn't seem like, especially with tariffs looming again, it seems like it's giving the wrong message. But it's whatever. They can do what they want. I don't give a fuck.
Buy Bitcoin, man.
That's it. It boils down to that. That's why when I say I don't give a fuck, I truly don't give a fuck at this point. Yeah. Whatever happens. Is in my mind, I'm in my happy space because I know I have an idea how the rest of my life is going to play out. And regardless of however things happen, I believe I have the ability to control things for myself. Like I could have things play out the way I think it should play out. Let it happen. I don't care if things either burn or it moons. I don't give a shit at this point because I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else you can do. Are we done with time? I have no idea what time it is. I can't see anything.
1:35 in. So
let's call it. Let's call it. Yeah. Come back Wednesday or Thursday for me and Learning Bitcoin guys. Sorry about the audio. Hopefully it sounds okay to me. It sounds like it sounds okay to Len. Hopefully it sounds okay to you guys too. And by the Wednesday show, I'll have my stuff set up again. I'll go back to my usual mic. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming. Busy show, busy day, busy week. It's a good time to be a Bitcoiner, and we are glad to be in it with you guys. I think. Hey, Len? Yeah, Len's nodding.
Oh yeah.
Great. We'll see you when we see you.
Fuck the MAGA.